to Cotton Creations. So today I have another DIY project for you. So what's been on trend is the big round backdrops, especially for like weddings, baby showers, bridal showers, and you usually can either put balloons on them or some sort of floral arrangement. And so I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could use a dollar store, particularly Dollar Tree, products to recreate something like that for you guys, so that you know, we keep it affordable but yet still very nice, very elegant. And so I think I got it. So if you're interested, stay tuned and make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on all the greatness happening at Cotton Creations. And if you've already subscribed, I really appreciate all your love and support thus far. And let's go ahead and jump into this project. So to get started, you'll need 3 large hula hoops and 1 medium-sized hula hoop. And what you want to do is go ahead and unwrap them from the plastic that comes on them. It's adhesive, so just find the opening and then begin to take it off. Then you want to detach the hula hoop and then empty out the rocks that are inside. Next, we're going to use a blow dryer to shape and bend our hula hoop to our desired circle. So as you can see, I'm just using my feet and my hands to blow dry a section and bend it out, just to expand the hula hoops and make a bigger circle. And then once you get that done, you're going to take 2 of the large hula hoops and you're going to attach those together to make 1 large round circle. And then you're going to use 1 large hula hoop and 1 medium-sized hula hoop to make the inner circle, which is slightly smaller than the outer circle. And I did end up having to cut and trim a little bit of the hula hoop for the inner circle off, and I'll show you in a second how I do that. So if you happen to overbend your hula hoop, don't be afraid. It's okay. You can just use the blow dryer to reheat the hula hoop and bend it back into shape. So here's where I am cutting off a little bit of the hula hoop because it's just still a little bit too big for the inner circle. So first I just score it so I know where I want to cut it at, and then I take the lighter and a box cutter and I heat up the box cutter blade, and then I just go in and cut it. Usually it takes about 2 or 3 times heating up the blade and going back in until it's fully cut. So next I'm going to use these wooden handles that come on the sponge brushes that Dollar Tree sells. They come 8 in a pack, so I got 2 packs. And I'm going to use those and glue them to both the outer and the inner hula hoop so that they both are attached together. I'm going to be using some E6000 and hot glue to do this. You'll notice I'm turning some of the wood pieces just slightly, and that's only because I wanted to evenly connect to the hula hoops. Sometimes it would overlap and it would be sticking off on one side, so I just turned it so that it wasn't doing that. So I haven't tested this out, but I would imagine if you wanted a tighter hold, you could drill holes in the hula hoop and the wood pieces and then use a screw with a nut to hold it in, and it would be a stronger hold that way. So that's an option as well. So here's a closer look. I'm just taking the E6000, putting a few dabs down, and then going in with the hot glue and putting just a little bit, and then I'm going to place my wood piece down and hold it there until it's
dry with the hot glue, and I'll use a hammer just to put some weight on it. And once it's dry, I'll go back in and I'll put some hot glue on the sides. And I actually ended up taking it all the way around from one side to the other side with the hot glue. So what I would recommend is letting the wood pieces dry for a full 24 hours before moving on to the next step, which is I'm going to put some sand only on one side of the frame. So what I'm doing is taking a piece of paper towel, rolled it up, and stuffed it in one side, just so that when we pour the sand in on the other side, it doesn't spill out and create a whole big mess. So I'm using this funnel that I got from the Dollar Tree as well. I picked up this 50-pound bag of sand for $3 from Home Depot. And you'll want to push the sand all the way around, so you'll have to tilt your hula hoop just to make sure that that gets in there. Next, we're going to close the side that we just put the sand in on. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to use those sponge brushes that we got, and we're just going to cut like a small rectangle piece. We're going to put some E6000 on it, and then followed by some hot glue. And then what you want to do is stuff it down in there, and using a pencil, just the back of it with the eraser is what I use to like push it down in there. One thing to note is that you want to make sure that your sand does stop enough to where you can actually reattach it with that clear white piece that goes into the hula hoop. So you don't want to fill it up all the way to the tip top, because then that won't fit in there. And then once you've finished plugging the one side, you'll take out the paper towel from the other side and fill it up with sand, just to make sure that it's really nice and packed in there. And then you'll plug that side as well with the piece of the sponge brush. And after both sides are plugged, you'll want to go ahead and flip your hula hoop over on top of like some tarp or outside, and just make sure that no sand comes out once it is flipped over. So now it's time to go ahead and decorate our frame. So what I'm doing is putting our two pieces back together, and then I'm going to show you guys what balloons I found at the dollar store. I found this Mr. and Mrs. So I'm going to attach that to the center using some fishing line. And it is better to do this with the frame already hanging on whatever wall you're going to put it up on. Unfortunately, the large wall that I have is gold, and it would have clashed with the Mr. and Mrs. So I wasn't able to put it up. I had to do it on the floor, because where I actually hung my frame at was actually in the lobby area. So I didn't want to spend too much time out there with, my neighbors and being a disturbance. So yeah, I did it on the floor first. I did make some adjustments once I did hang it though. And then after I get this part done, I'm then going to take my balloon garland and go around the frame and attach that as well. So I got my balloon garland from Amazon. I think I paid about $13. I'll leave the link in the description box below. But it did come with like 200 balloons, the balloon garland strip that you can just insert the neck of the balloons inside the little holes. And then it also comes with the tool that helps you tie balloons faster. And I use a balloon pump from the dollar store to blow up all the balloons. So here's a photo of what I would have done with the balloon garland if I had painted the frame. So if the frame, let's say, was all white, I could have left a little bit of it exposed and it would have still looked really nice. But since I wasn't able to or didn't paint it yet, I went on ahead and covered the whole thing with the balloon. There's lots of things that you can use to attach the balloon garland to your frame. At first I started using the fishing line, but that was taking too long, so I decided to use some floral wire that I had on hand. I would highly recommend using the 3M hooks to hang your frame on the wall. For me, I decided to use some push pins just because I was doing it in the lobby and I wanted to put it up pretty quickly. So yeah. Now what I'm doing is I'm using some glue dots that also came in the Amazon balloon garland package. And I'm just blowing up more small balloons and attaching them with the glue dots and filling in the spaces where you can see the frame. As you can see, or you'll see later, I probably could have filled in the balloon garland a bit more on the right side and up at the top, but my neighbors kept coming out to look and see what was going on and telling me congratulations, and clearly I'm not getting married, this is just for the video. So I was like, you know what, let me just hurry this up. So I wanted to include a couple of photos for you guys just to kind of give you a perspective on the size of the frame. So you can see the ceiling in this particular photo and the floor. And to the right of it is a door sill. So as you can see, it's a pretty nice size. You could go bigger if you add a hula hoop to the outer and the inner frame, but of course if you go bigger, that means you need to have more space to accommodate it. But like I said, this is a pretty nice size.
Alright, so what do you guys think about this backdrop? I'm like in love with it. I will say this, I did not paint it as I mentioned before because I am planning to put it on some sort of stand. I would really love to figure out how to get it freestanding so you don't have to use a wall or anything like that. I'm close, but I'm not there yet. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. If I get a chance, I'll put kind of what legs I've done thus far and kind of where I am with that. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on how to support this as a freestanding backdrop stand, let me know down in the comment section. If you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. And thanks for watching.